Well, hello everyone. This is Dr. Ayleen, and this is Medicine Walk. And for those of you who are listening in on Blog Talk Radio, this is Healing House Radio. So I hope everyone has had a good week, and that as we cover this aspect of magic and spirituality and practices and how it connects us to our communities and to the world around us. And that's why I called this Walking Between Worlds, because it is about finding that balance point between the two. Because not every aspect of our lives appeals to everybody in our lives. And so as we, go deeper and deeper into exploring things like, the types of works that you want to do, whether it's healing or prophecy or psychic phenomena or spiritually based, it is important to be able to have each of those pieces of our lives, and maybe, rooting for your favorite sports team. Maybe your spiritual friends and your magic-based friends don't necessarily like football as much as you do, but you've got some great football friends who maybe not, so much meshing with, those other aspects. So what I really wanted to kind of bring together through this whole year's worth of teaching and learning and all of that is the idea that, a little bit of compartmentalizing can be a very good thing. And a part of that is putting into perspective your relationship and your activities around these different parts of your lives. Now, no matter how you compartmentalize this whole thing, there are good spaces and opportunities to practice boundaries. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about how to have boundaries in this life and in this world, and to be able to walk comfortably in your world, but not feel like you always have to be on. And this is especially important for people who are interested in healing. Those who practice healing traditions, well, basically, you find a lot of people that need healing. And while, it's always good to hone your skills and have opportunities to practice, you still need to create boundaries, because otherwise people, in their need, and this isn't judging anybody, it's a survival instinct. It is ingrained in us, the idea that if there's someone who can help us with something, we're drawn to that person. We want to be able to have balance restored, and whether it's mentally, physically, or emotionally. So, there tends to be that, you're at a party, you're enjoying yourself, and then somebody wants to kind of, cordon you off and tell you all of their problems and, have that consultation time. And that can be a really difficult thing to manage. If you, say, enjoy doing things like dream interpretations, everybody's going to want to tell you their dream, and they're going to want to know what it means. And it may not be the right environment for that. It may not be the right moment for that. Maybe you're not in the space that you feel like doing that work. And part of this practice, part of finding your way in this work, is to be able to set those boundaries when you don't feel like working in that moment, which you have every right to do. It's, these are gifts that we have, and we expand on them, and everybody has gifts. And if your particular gifts lend in a way that help other people to feel better, then that is a wonderful thing. And it does not mean that you always have to be on all the time for everybody. And especially starting out, this is a very difficult thing. It's a very challenging thing. And once again, I'm really focusing in on my healers and my empaths. And it's very hard to tell somebody no. It's very hard to tell someone, I really don't have time to focus on this. And it's important to really honor that, yes, that person is in need and they should be honored for that. They're asking for help and they should be honored for that. And finding a good way to be able to assist them and be there for them and be present for them, while at the same time realizing, you know what, I'm kind of off the clock right now. I'm doing something else that I really enjoy. Let's say you are that football fan and it's the Super Bowl and you have somebody who's next to you, and it's a great game, and there's somebody who just wants to talk to you about it's like, well, I had this dream, or I need this particular type of healing, or I think maybe, there's an entity that's attached itself to me, and all of this other stuff. Yeah, they want help, and yeah, there's a good chance you'll be able to help them. But is that the right moment to help them? Is that the right moment to try to realign yourself from the space you're in to a working space? And that may not be the best time. So it comes down to learning the skills of the gentle no, of being able to, if it's somebody who just kind of wants to go on and on and on, and you say, you know what you're saying is important. And I want to be able to give it the full importance and the sacred space that it needs. This is not that space. And so let's arrange a time for me to be able to go into this more in depth with you. And see, what that does is it turns it around so that the person you're talking to, one, they feel like they're being valued, that their time and their problem is being valued. And it allows them to understand, oh, well, she's not on right now, or this isn't an appropriate time. As opposed to just saying, you know what, I really don't need to hear about this right now. That is not, if you're trying to develop either a profession or a reputation, or if you're just working at this, it's really good to be able to honor those who want to come and see you. And you must honor yourself and be able to say, well, now is not a really good time. Let's plan another. And you can pull out your phone or your whatever, your appointment notes, and say, okay, well, what day next week is good for you? And you get them orienting into, okay, this is going to be something we're going to be dealing with in the future. This is something we're going to be dealing with later. But I am going to set that time, and I value you enough that we're going to set a time right now for us to talk and for us to be able to go into this, into that depth where I can help you. So it is, walking in the world is walking with other people. Walking this path is about those times that we can be solitary, those times that we can be really honoring ourselves, because a big part of this work is the work that we do with ourselves. It is those quiet times where we're in meditation and where we're in our place of, prayer or contemplation, or however you want to put that, or when we're doing our practices. If you're working on learning how to, do a prayer flag, or if you're working on, doing prayer ties, and you need to spend some time and practice that. If you're working on reading the tarot, you need to have your time to, practice that and read about it and practice, the cards and really bond with them. Whatever it is you do, if you're going to be really, really good at it, you need a lot of alone time with it. And making sure that you have that time to work by yourself, that you have that time to, like I said, meditating is a very important part of almost any and every type of spiritual practice or magical practice, because, even if there's absolutely no spiritual aspect involved, which it's energetic, but, that's another discussion. And, I have friends who are, well, if I'm an atheist, can I still do magic? It's like, of course. You just come from, connect to the energy however it feels most authentic to you. So maybe it's sacred geometry, maybe it's mathematics, maybe it's quantum physics, maybe it's string theory, whatever. Make sure you are focusing on your doorway, your particular doorway. And part of being stepping out in that publicly, because there is that aspect where this is a public experience. This is a, if you choose to take it that way. I mean, you could always just, be very solitary and do your own thing by yourself. You don't have to tell anybody. These things tend to work better in community, because then you have the opportunity to learn, and you have the opportunity to, talk to people about what it is you do and what you're doing. And, wow, this really isn't working too well. Do you know another way that it might? And, getting insights from people. And that is wonderful and excellent. And it allows you to be able to connect with your work in a deeper way, whatever you want that work to be. What I'm saying is that in order to be in life, in your life, in all the aspects of your life, creating a space for the work is really, really important. Creating a time for the work, creating a container for the work. And for those of you who don't know anything about containers, you can look. We've got an episode, or 1 month we dedicated to talking about containers. So when you compartmentalize those things in your life, now, does that mean there won't be any overlap? Of course there's going to be. There's always overlap. And it's funny because it can, sometimes somebody who you don't even think resonates with that, may come up to you and it's like, so I hear you, you do Reiki, or I hear that, you deal with psychic phenomena, or I hear you deal with earth energy and earth magic. And, if you do, then yeah, you don't have to, go into a whole big thing. Just, yeah, why? Always turn the question around, because they do have a question. And it may be that they've had some sort of an experience that they're confused about, that they don't understand. And often just casual get-togethers are the places where somebody will come up and kind of drop that a little bit. So, yes, talk to them a bit about it. Now, if you're open to it, if you really want to talk about it, go for it, enjoy. But be sure that you make a point of being able to separate when you choose it. It's like, what, I'm just here having fun, hanging out, talking about whatever. Or when you go into that place of, okay, this is the work. Tell me what's going on. Yeah, in many ways, it's like once I became a chiropractor, it was almost like everything that I went to, every event, I had someone come up to me and suddenly I'm in the middle of an office visit. And it's like, oh yeah, you're a chiropractor. I heard you're a chiropractor. I've got this shoulder thing, or I've got this neck thing. What do you think? What do you think about it? And since I kind of, let it be known socially and in my groups of friends and with my family that I also do energetic work, I do have people coming up wanting to talk to me about their dreams, or talk to me about, a phenomena that's going on that they're kind of concerned about. And after a while that you've done it, you'll be able to kind of figure out, okay, this is something that can be just done straightforward, and, it's very easy, or whatever. I mean, there's very little that's that easy. Or if it seems easy, a lot of times it isn't. But if it's something that, you can be able to speak to and address in a few minutes, or, kind of briefly, great. Or if you don't mind sitting and talking with that person. And you will also be able to know that it's like, from what they say and the things they're describing, it's like, okay, that's going to need a little bit more work. That's going to need a little bit more attention. There's something going on there that, maybe I need to meditate on, or I need to take into my prayers, or I need to take into my consideration, or maybe I need to look something up about a particular thing that they're talking about. And at that point, it's like, what? That's when I do my, this is important. And we really need a space to be able to talk about this, because we need to go into to a deeper level than we can do here in this environment. So what looks good for you next week for, an hour or so to come and talk to me? So being able to arrange that, being able to decide that, you know what, this is my time, because you need your time. You need your time for the work, and you need your time away from the work. You need that time to, go to a silly movie or play video games. I like video games. And often when I need my break, I'll go home and, I'll play my video games, or I'll sit and watch gaming videos with my son, and we'll be able to just kind of hang out and relax. You need the hang out and relax time. Having the work be your entire life, yeah, it's possible. Yeah, it can be done. And is that really the best way for you to do it? Is that really the best way for you not to burn out? Because burnout is probably one of the biggest things that can just wreck an amazing practitioner when they don't know when to turn it off, when they don't understand. And this applies to almost anybody, people who like to volunteer a lot, people who, are really just kind of out there and always doing things for other people. If there's no balance, if you haven't got a balance point where you have that quiet time, where you have that separate time, where you have your spirit time, where you have your magic time, if you can't sort of separate those out a little bit and make sure that each one is getting the attention it needs, then what's going to happen is that ultimately you're going to burn out. And I've seen it happen to many an amazing practitioner. And the point is that it's not necessary. Burning out, in many ways, burning out is a choice. And that's for almost anything you do. Whether I'm doing, magical work, whether I'm doing energetic healing, whether I'm doing chiropractic. If I don't know when to turn it off, when to switch it, when Dr. Ayleen needs a day off, or at least an evening off, or at least a party off, a get-together, then what is going to happen is that I start to lose Ayleen in Dr. Ayleen. And we all need to have a way to maintain ourselves, just to be ourselves, not to be our title, not to be our work, not to be what we feel other people need from us. Because, there's that piece of it that it's kind of ego fed. It's like, wow, I'm this great person. I've always got people coming to, see me. They always want to talk to me. They always want to do this. And yeah, there is an ego piece, and every single practitioner goes through that ego-based spot. If somebody says they don't, it's like, okay, I would question that, because we all go through it a little bit, because we're just so excited about what we do. We love what we do. And yeah, you get a little proud of yourself, which you should be. The thing is that we balance out what it is we do with the other parts of our lives. And maybe it's going to a park. Maybe it's, if you're doing end-to-end ceremonies, if you're doing end-to-end work, that is draining. It really is, because it takes away from those softer moments that we can have in life. The ones where we don't have to be doing, especially doing for others, and we can just sit and receive and get messages and just be in that quiet, gentle place. I mean, sometimes I'll be playing a video game and suddenly something will pop into my head and it's like, oh, that's the solution for that problem that I needed. But the only way I could get it was by stepping away. And that's probably the most valuable thing out of this, is that when you step away and you stop focusing on it, a lot of times that's when you get your most amazing insights. So find balance, find the balance point, set up boundaries. You don't have to always be on. You don't have to always be any one part of you. Your practices are a part of you. They are not all of you. So go and enjoy a game of whatever sporting thing that you like, or go play a video game, or put together a puzzle, or go bowling. Make sure you're paying attention to those other parts of your life that matter, because they allow you to be a better practitioner, because they give you a way to get a break from it. So I hope this was helpful. If there are any questions, then you can put them in the comments, and I do check the comments. And for those of you who are listening in on Healing House Radio, there's a comment section there as well. And if this video resonated with you, or if any of my other videos resonated with you, then please, you can you can share the video. And if you are not subscribed, and I'm really excited because according to the analytics, most of my views are from people who subscribe, which is a really cool thing. So if you value it, then please join the community and subscribe. If you would like to support me on a higher level, then there's a link in both the Healing House Radio and in the description here on YouTube that will lead you to my Patreon account, and that is sponsorship, monthly sponsorship. So for as little as $2 a month, you can help support the channel. Well, we'll see you next week. And yes, I will be preparing a video for Thanksgiving. We will be talking about this month just seems to have rushed by for many reasons. And I'll be actually be doing an announcement of some changes that are going to be coming up very soon. So tune in next week. And if you, like I said, if you have any questions or comments, you can reach me through Twitter. You can join the Facebook page, Medicine Walk with Dr. Ayleen. And there's other ways to reach me. So thank you for joining me. And as always, I wish you balance and I wish you blessings from my heart to yours. Love you, and class dismissed.